Professor, you want to go first or you want me to go?
No, you can go ahead and start first because I'm just start naming matches. But
Oh,
I mean, like, yeah, you could definitely go first. I know some matches offhand.
I tell you something that stood out to me initially because this probably, although we've had, this is the first time I think I ever saw a movie transcend into a show. So if you ever seen the movie No Holds Bar, a lot of people haven't. But if you ever seen it, Hulk Hogan took on Tiny Zeus Lister, and his name was Zeus in the movie. And then fast forward shortly thereafter, there's been like Hogan, I think, fought him in the cage or something like that. But when you had Hogan and I believe Beefcake against Macho Man and Zeus, I think SummerSlam 1989. So that's the kind of the first time I really saw like a transcend of like movie to out, and that was pretty fascinating. For a guy my age, I was like 6 or 7 years old, So that's pretty fascinating for me. So that was one memory for me. I remember, I believe, the very first SummerSlam, 1988. Honky Tonk Man was at a certain number. I can't remember at that time the longest reigning. Ain't that something to have the longest reigning champion, Intercontinental champion, to losing in like 6 seconds?
Hey,
you
gotta drop it.
Yeah, he went out there. What you can dub is the first open challenge on TV, I guess. Okay. He went out there and did it, and then he lost it. So then from there, but if I keep going down the line, I would say for me, one of the reasons I said it multiple times on this show as well, Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, SummerSlam 1991, match made in heaven, match made in hell. That's what the show was dubbed because if you know, when the Warrior took on Sergeant Slaughter, his guys, and then Macho Man and Lynch
got married. That was a big deal.
So, yeah. And then he got bit by a snake or something like that. A snake was in the box or something that day after. But that's hold on, Jerry. Hold on. So all that happened too. Point being, that was that. And then I would go after that. I know me and BJ talked about this before. Bulldog and Bret, 92, Wembley Stadium, Intercontinental title, main event. I think this first time is mainstream. So those was a couple of the early years. I know we got a lot of the things from like when the Brock Lesnar came and all that thing, but from the earlier years, I got a couple more than I kind of, I'll give it back to you. I'm sorry, I just kind of talk about SummerSlam, but not a good match, but a good story leading up to it. 1994, Undertaker versus The Undertaker.
Oh, see, you're going to take that. You took mine. Okay.
Yeah, not a good match by any means, but a good story with Leslie Nielsen looking for The Undertaker and things of that nature. $1 Million Man buying his own Undertaker. I believe that's when The Undertaker switched from like the gray to the purple. That same night you had Bret versus Owen in a steel cage match, but WWE added that in their top 25 matches. I think it was more recently too, within the last 3 days or so. So you kind of go down that, and then you fast forward to the different things. But I will say this before we get into this year's SummerSlam has not been very good to John Cena. I'm just gonna let that cook for a minute.
No, you let it simmer because AJ owns Cena.
Hey, put a little syrup on that. You got to put Lesnar.
Daniel Bryan. Hey, you keep going.
They own that dude.
Hey, Brock Lesnar. He's got the most appearances at. I think he got the most SummerSlam main events. SummerSlam main events at SummerSlam. So he might be Mr. SummerSlam, like we were saying. But yeah, it hasn't been that fair to brother John Cena. But what you about to say, BJ?
Oh, well, Lonnie took a lot of them because there were all a lot of great moments. I do want to speak on the Undertaker versus Undertaker. You talk about a childhood moment. I wasn't the biggest Undertaker fan, but him losing to Yoko and then disappearing, and then all of a sudden the $1 Million Man's like, nah, I got him, and I'm going to bring him back. That was a weird moment. And then all of a sudden you bring in Leslie Nielsen during the height of the Naked Gun movies. He's sitting there searching for him. And then just that spectacle of Paul Bearer in the ring with the urn and the light coming out. My memory as a child looks at that as like a great moment. Looking back at it now, it's kind of like, it wasn't too great. But at that time, that was epic. Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon ladder match, that rematch at WrestleMania 10. You could probably say that one was the better match. Shawn won especially, which I was happy about in that degree. Lesnar winning his first world title against The Rock at SummerSlam, especially when Lesnar was running through all people.
Everybody.
Mainly Rock.
Everybody.
Yeah, right? The next big thing.
We didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming.
Oh, I don't know. He was an animal. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I remember Tony hated it.
Tony, you know it. You already know. Because he won King of the Ring that year too, ain't it?
I believe he did. Yeah, he did. He didn't have the best opening year because Kurt Angle still has that, but Brock Lesnar did have a great opening year. Like you said, mention the Cena matches. I like the whole concepts of the Cena matches because those were great matches, especially a match against AJ Styles. When people kept saying John Cena can't wrestle, that match was like, you guys are just wrong. All right, Cena can wrestle. Maybe it was AJ because AJ doesn't have a bad match, but that's one of my all-time favorite matches, just in a
Right.
ranking system.
Right.
But yeah, those are like my biggest WrestleMania moments. I mean, no,
WrestleMania.
SummerSlam moments.
Yo, I want to add just real quick too, because I kind of skipped the year. I didn't know if Professor was going to say it. That's why I didn't say it. 1993, you had the Lex Express, Lex Slam Yoko,
Oh, you're not doing
and then you went into if it was any point in time I was disappointed that somebody didn't win a title, it was that.
Yeah.
Because I thought, and then I recently heard Lex say on the podcast that Vince never guaranteed him he would win it at that point in time. He said if he did do it though, it would be at the Garden, which, as we know, if you know that history, it went on to WrestleMania 10, and that's when Bret had
Brought
Yoko
it
fought 2
instead.
matches. You know what I'm saying? And then Bret ended up winning as a rematch from WrestleMania 9. But I'm like, that was a cool moment for me.
Real quick,
Another
to
cool
that
moment.
point. Hey, real quick to that point. Did you ever see like the documentary or the whole thing with that when Lex was on the bus doing the tours and
Yeah,
how
he
Vince
wasn't
was kind
into
of
it.
like
He wasn't into it. Yeah, I saw that. I forgot
yeah.
what it was. Was it like a A&E thing?
I think it
Or was
wasn't
it?
anything because I remember I saw a clip
Yeah.
of it because there was a
Yeah.
scene where Luger was getting something from the buffet and I don't know, Vince just came up weird, acting like, "Hey, big boy, how you doing?" Like that one would just stick in my mind for some reason. And also Lex trying to
Hey,
talk to warehouse workers how to be ahead. But hey, what's up, Jacoby?
What up,
we
y'all?
got wrestling royalty in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Make some noise. Put something down in the chat. Something real fancy for the Alabama ambassador. I mean, he's in the
Yes,
building.
sir.
We gotta respect him. He's in the building. This time, he may or may not disappear. We don't know what type of functions we have here on the set, but he's here. I want you to know you're in good hands. You're in good hands, Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know. It's good to see him. I know he got a lot of light on him right now. I can't really see his face.
Yeah, boy, that boy
I know.
shining, boy. He
I'm about. Let me
glowing.
work. Let me fix that.
He glowing. He glowing out there.
Don't do that.
What if I can add, man? Some of my Kurt Angle always had a good showing at SummerSlam. Shane McMahon had some of the most memorable spots at SummerSlam. One that comes to mind is him falling way off the Raptor with Blackman. I think he just talked about that
Oh
on
yeah,
the
that's
podcast,
better.
how Shane McMahon, I guess, fell. That was a good one. And of course, I could not do this without highlighting this match to me. The triple threat match was The Rock. I call him GOAT Game these days, but you may know him as Triple H. And Kurt Angle. I thought that was a really good match too. And the first ever TLC match. I mean, to kick that off in the way that it did, that was at SummerSlam 2000. So those were some of the things that stood out to me. Jacoby, we talking about the history of SummerSlam. What you got, man?
As far as like my favorite moments, correct?
Absolutely. Favorite moments could be some matches that stood out to you. Just so you know, you may do the same thing. I want you to let you know the Undertaker versus Undertaker has already been claimed. So
I wasn't gonna mention that. So um, I gotta go. Well, I believe that was '92, the Wembley Stadium one. I thought just
mm,
the ambiance of that show was dope. Not a lot of people talk about the Macho Man Ultimate Warrior match.
we lost them.
I would kind of throw in there a couple of things that you said, Sean, wait till you come back on. We had a lot of firsts at SummerSlam too. You talked about the TLC, but I also want to bring to your attention a couple of firsts that happened on the same show. The Boiler Room Brawl between the Undertaker
Mhm.
and Mankind
Yeah,
in
that
1996, and that same
that
show
was
we
good.
saw Paul Bearer turn on the Undertaker. So
Yeah.
the things are like that nature there.
Then you also saw Roman Reigns come back and he speared, and that's how he became the tribal chief. That was
Right.
Yeah,
SummerSlam.
yeah. And then last year he came back and came to OTC. Ain't that something?
And
Yeah.
then Shawn Michaels, he returned after 4 years at a
Yeah,
SummerSlam, I believe.
2002, 2002 against Triple H. Great match, by the way, especially for somebody who's been off for 4.5 years.
Man, you know what should have been better was the Nexus. I think because the Nexus did the 7-on-7 elimination match that they
Okay.
had.
You know what? Let's talk about that for a second. The Nexus. Who was the biggest star in the Nexus in here? Which is Wade Barrett, right?
Wade Barrett.
Way better.
But I mean, what about the rest of those guys? How did it pan out for them? Do you even looking back at them? Could they have been stars? I'm not saying Cena should have squashed them, but at the same time, it's like, was that really the worst thing that happened?
Well, I mean,
He was doing all right. I mean,
so what I'm saying is not that they would be stars, but that the group probably shouldn't have been squashed by Cena, and they could have lasted a little while. I mean, they came on, I mean, putting people through tables. I mean, they were doing some crazy stuff, right? And then superhero Cena,
Beat him at
now I
SummerSlam
respect
series.
him for it. You know, he did his thing. But maybe they could have lasted just a little while longer.
Well,
But as far as stars, I mean, the only one that stands out to me is Wade Barrett, and then the other guy, I think he went to acting. The black guy, I can't remember his name, but he went to do movies.
David
So
Otunga?
David Otunga.
Oh, David Otunga started off in reality dating, became a
Mhm.
wrestler, and
Yeah.
then he married Jennifer Hudson. And I don't know if he does anything. I'm kidding. He probably does
Wait,
something.
Yeah,
but
was it?
still.
He was on I Love New York, right? Was it on
Yeah,
that?
Right.
I think it was some VH1 show. 2 of them, I believe.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
she came off of Flavor show,
Flavor of
right?
Love. Yeah.
Flavor of Love,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was really big into those shows. Those shows were. I'm not gonna pretend I didn't watch them. I did. I was really big
You
into
bet
all
not,
of
and
them.
you bet not pretend you ain't watching.
I was into all of them. I love Money. I
Yeah.
love New York. Real Chance of Love. All of them.
The Flavor Flav one was a good one. It was a good one. Oh, so okay. Well, when the Alabama, he should be back soon. But yeah. What else stand out to you guys concerning SummerSlam? Now, this is a notable one. The most appearance. Can you guys guess who had the most appearances at SummerSlam?
The Undertaker.
Undertaker. About
Who
to be
else?
Randy Orton, though, if I'm not mistaken.
Who else? It's 3 of them. Who else?
Oh well,
The
Brock
game?
had the most main events.
I wish. Nah, so it's Undertaker, Randy Orton, and of course John Cena.
Let me ask you this. Because we said this, and it's true. It's true. You know, you have your Mr. and Mrs.
Well,
but
who's Miss WrestleMania?
Charlotte calls herself that. She calls herself that.
Oh,
I've never
Charlotte's
heard
that.
anyone call her that. But
I never heard her say that.
Me,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
No.
man,
I never heard
you
her
go
say that.
do your promo research on that one then, because
Well, I'm saying though, that was a singular promo, but no one ever gave her that moniker. Like,
hey,
who
you gotta
calls
take
Shawn? But who
you
calls
gotta
Shawn
take
Miss
it and run with it.
No, well, okay, I hear her taking it wrong with it, but I guess I could say she didn't. But okay, I'm not gonna argue it because I just didn't know that it was Charlotte. Okay, still.
Brock Lesnar can be done to Mr. SummerSlam, especially in this latter part of his career. But I always still believe that in the earlier part that the Hart family has a staple at SummerSlam. You look at 90, 91, 92. You can say you can make a case that 93, Bret and Doink and King and all that stuff had the best moment and match of the night, I guess. 94, of course, Bret
Everybody's
and
frozen.
on. I mean, let's be honest. SummerSlam 93 didn't have a lot of big things going on there. It was built on Lex and Yoko. So,
Yeah.
but what was I? 94. Then 97, of course, Heart and Soul. 95, Bret fought Isaac Yanko. So that was really, and then he won the part in 96. So, but 97, and then you go about 20 years later, Natalya beats Naomi for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Yeah. And so you can say, Hart family has a good staple in it. It could be a Hart family pay-per-view in a sense. But, I understand too, with Brock, the moments he's had, like both parts of his career. I mean, you fought in your first, because you was only there for like 2 SummerSlams, I believe. The first part, and that was Rock and Kurt, 2002, 2003. By 2004, he wasn't with the company anymore by that time. And then you come back later, and then here we are. He's fought Triple H, John Cena, CM Punk, Roman Reigns multiple times, Fatal 4-Ways, Randy Orton. You know what I'm saying? So he's done quite a few things there. So.
Yeah, definitely. Brock is, of course, an animal anyway. I mean, other than that, who else? It's like an individual. You say a Hart family celebration. If you had to individualize it, it would be Bret Hart, possibly.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Then
I mean,
who would you say is Mrs. WrestleMania?
Is it WrestleMania or
Mr.
SummerSlam?
WrestleMania or
I'm sorry,
SummerSlam?
SummerSlam. Why keep saying WrestleMania? SummerSlam.
You can't wait for that Vegas show.
I mean, you know what? Speaking of which, I think it's gonna have to stay in Vegas because Vegas ain't getting no tourism. I think that may have to just be a permanent residency for WrestleMania.
Vegas. I mean, their tourism has took a hit. I mean, they fired people from MGM Grand, and it's crazy out there
They
right
may
now.
have to stay in Vegas. But anyway, yeah. Sorry.
It may be too soon to tell for me. You probably won't like this answer, but I think she's the first person to come to mind. I say Becky.
Becky Lynch. Oh no, yeah, that's fair. No, okay.
Becky?
Yeah.
Becky Lynch?
Well, hold on. Now, I'm not,
Yeah.
I never liked her as the man, but that's kind of where it started at SummerSlam. When Charlotte won the match between her, Carmella, and Becky, because it was supposed to be Becky versus Carmella. Charlotte got added to the match, won the match. Becky shook her hand, then she turned on her. The next pay-per-view, I think they was calling it that at that time, she won the title, and then you off to the races. And then you look at her coming back and beat Bianca. Then you look at her fighting Natty. Then you look at her fighting, all these different things that happened. So then she fought Bianca at the following SummerSlam as well. So all these different things that happened. Yeah.
Oh,
Are you still there, Lonnie?
Yeah, I think I cut off, but I'm here. Can you hear me?
okay, yeah, he's there. Okay. But no, you raised a good point because Becky did have some real big matches. Becky, Charlotte, Carmella, Becky, Natalia, Becky Lynch, Bianca. What was that, like the 2-minute match or so?
Yeah, there?
Yeah, because she came back. 26 seconds. That was a 26-second match. And then you had Becky and Bianca again. And then you had Becky and Trish. Oh, never mind.
Who?
That did not happen at SummerSlam.
That didn't happen you said Becky and Trish?
Yeah, that was more so at Payback.
Yeah.
Yeah, Schedule 8 move to Payback. All right. But no, Becky Lynch isn't a bad pick overall. It kind of makes sense. She's 2-2 when it comes to SummerSlams. 2 wins, 2 losses, but she won the title. That's fair.
Becky Lynch, she just never just did it for me. I just never been a big Becky Lynch person, man. I just, nothing to do with her in-ring ability. I think it's stellar, but I guess her is aggravating on the mic. You know who else is aggravating me right now? That doggone Tiffany Stratton theme song is aggravating me.
Not Tiffy time
all
for
of
you?
it. It's weird. It's like all of a sudden now it's just so aggravating to me.
It's no longer Tiffy time. Oh, man. Well, I mean, I was never big into Tiffany anyway. I thought it was a cool character, but I don't know. I still believe Tiffany Stratton should have won the Intercontinental or U.S. title, and Chelsea Green should have been Money in the Bank.
Mm-hmm.
Am I back on? Just on clip.
Yeah, you back on. You back on. You went out there. What were you saying?
I think I was talking about this Becky's moment.
We're talking about Becky Lynch.
I think we're good now.
Right,
I think I kind of made a case for that already. I don't think I'm good right now.
In that case, I'll try to make a case for Charlotte. Most appearances at a SummerSlam with 7 in total, multiple title wins from 2018 to 2019 against Sasha, Becky, and a match against Rhea, I believe. I think so. That's not mentioned here. Consistently booked in title matches. Rarely misses a SummerSlam card. I mean, honestly, you could say her.
Charlotte?
Yeah, Charlotte could be it.
I mean, Charlotte going to go down as probably one of the... I don't know. Because right now, Trish Stratus probably the best female wrestler, of her time.
Well,
I would say it's Trish Stratus.
I guess. I mean, she's the most popular.
Yeah. Lita was right up there. Jacqueline, too.
Yeah.
Evolution. Wasn't that their first pay-per-view, SummerSlam? Because they had like they had like the Bellas group, then Charlotte and PCB, I believe, and then they had Team Bad and all that. Wasn't